Present Perfect Simple, Step 6. Remember, if you like the content of this video and would like to see more, please click like. If you'd like to see other videos in this series, please click subscribe. If you'd like to request a lesson, please request in the comments box below. So let's continue our look at the meaning of the present perfect simple. As we have seen, when we're using the present perfect, we are referring to a period of time which started in the past and continues up till now. So that's different from the past simple when everything is finished in the past, not including now. So when we are talking about the past and the present together, we use the present perfect simple. Now, time expressions like the following can be used to describe this period which includes the past and the present. Time expressions like these. Recently, in the last few days, so far, up to now, in recent months, in recent years. Now, today, if the day hasn't finished, this morning, if the morning hasn't finished, this year, if the year hasn't finished. Since, yes, lots of expressions with since to describe a period of time until now. Since 8 o'clock, since Friday, since 2011. And you could also say, for example, since I arrived, or since I was born, or since I began my job, for example. And then we have expressions with for 3 hours, for 3 days, for 10 years, for example. And in these cases, we put the period of time after the for. So let's look at some examples. Now you can see I put the plus, negative, question mark signs here to indicate that, for example, number 1 is an affirmative sentence, number 2 is a negative sentence, and number 3 is a question. For example, let's look at number 1. A lot of things have happened recently. Number 2. I haven't visited my family since the lockdown started. There's an example with since. Next one. Have you travelled anywhere this year? Now, if you say this year, you use the present perfect simple. If you say last year, you have to use the past simple because it's finished. It's part of history. Next one, number 4. I've lived here since 2018. 5. It hasn't snowed very much this year. 6. Have you taken any photos lately? And lately is another word for recently. Number 7. I've taken 20 photos so far. And that means maybe I will take more in the future, but until now, so far. Number 8. I haven't taken any photos yet. Now, as we looked at in a previous video, if you have a negative sentence, you can say yet and put that word at the end to indicate that maybe you will take photos in the future, but at the moment you haven't started yet. Number 9. How many photos have you taken up to now? And that's another way to say so far. So whenever you use any of these time period expressions, then use the present perfect simple. Alright, let's look at another typical use of the present perfect simple. We use the present perfect when we are referring to the first time or the second time, etc., that something has happened, or the first book, the second film, the third country, etc. So let's look at examples to make this clear. Number 1. This is the first time I've been to Rome. And that means the first time in my life. And the next one. This is the second time I've broken my leg. And that means in this whole period of my life, it's the second time that this has happened. This is the third car I've had. Again, in my life. Now the next example is passive, just to show you that many sentences like this have a passive voice for the verb. Number 4. This is the first time I've been stopped by the police. Of course, you could say this is the first time the police have stopped me, but here Make it passive. This is the first time I've been stopped by the police. Number 5. This is the 4th time. This one is different. This is a film. This is the 4th film he's made. And of course that means in his professional life as a film director or as an actor. Number 5. This is the 5th novel she's written. Number 7. This isn't the first time I've been bitten by a dog. Now notice this one is a negative sentence, an example of negative, and it's also an example of a verb with the passive voice. This isn't the first time I've been bitten by a dog. Again, you could also make this into an active voice sentence by saying, this isn't the first time a dog has bitten me. But then the passive is, I've been bitten by a dog. Number 8. Question. Is this the first time you've been to Edinburgh? Number 9. Is this the first time you've been checked by the doctor? Again, it's a passive verb. Number 10. This is the 10th cup of coffee I've drunk today. So you can see in all of these sentences, we're talking about a period of time, which is often my life, in which some things have happened. So that brings us to the end of this step 6 video. So please move on to step 7 and try some practice exercises. And remember, like, subscribe or request.